Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Norma. If you're new here, I'm the owner of Norma's Diary. In today's video, we're going to be starting a new series on my channel called Cozy. Basically, we're going to be discussing topics that will help us become a better version of ourselves. And today's topic is how to end 2023 strong. So get yourself your cup of coffee, your water, cup of tea, a drink, whatever it is, and get cozy as we're about to discuss today's topic. So how can we end 2023 strong? What do I mean by strong? I don't mean like physically strong. Of course, if you hit the gym, yes. But basically what I mean is you are going to be ready for 2024. What usually happens is when a new year begins, that's when we set goals, that's when we set resolutions and things we want to achieve in this new year that we have just started. But what I want us to do is start preparing for those goals that we're going to set at the beginning of the year by creating habits. Okay, so I've got my notes. So number one, to help you end 2023 strong and be ready for 2024 is to start tracking your monthly expenses. So obviously this is a budget channel and we talk a lot about managing your finances. You can get a financial advisor who will help you, set future goals and know what to do with your investing, etc. But Norma's Diary is here to help you stop living paycheck to paycheck, manage your finances and your lifestyle every single day. So when you get paid today, how can you make sure that you are set up to not be struggling 5 days later after payday? So basically that is what I specialize in. I help you manage your finances but also save money and pay off debt. But the number one way to start doing that is to track your daily spending. So every single day before bed or maybe before dinner, so like maybe around 6 p.m, pull out your expense tracking sheet, your calendar, your Budget for Freedom journal if you have it, or whatever you use, your Excel spreadsheet, and write down every single spending that you did. So if you swipe, obviously you can track it on your banking app, and if you pay cash, just keep your receipts just so you can write down how much you spent for petrol, how much you spent on coffee, how much you spent at the grocery store, how much you spent at the clothing shop. Whatever it is, write it down. If you didn't spend anything, write that down. No spend day. So basically track your spending, your daily spending, so your expenses. And then at the end of the month, what I want you to do is to group it into categories. So take your food, eating out, or actually maybe separate it, just because if you are still a beginner, you want to know how much you need to budget for groceries and how much you need to budget for eating out. I put it together. But what would you do is then write a category for food and calculate how much you spent on food. So how much you spent at Pick and Pay, at Checkers, at Macro, or whenever you are buying groceries, write that down. How much you spent on eating out. So if you went to Nando's and went to Wimpy and then went to Steers and then ordered on Uber Eats and Mr. D, whatever it is, Pizza Boy is my favorite. Add all of that up and write it under eating out. How much you spent on data. So when you bought data, airtime, whatever it is, write that down. How about you spend at home? So household. So obviously you can add your rent or whatever your contribution is at home if you just put in a contribution. But add all of that up, how much you actually spent on home. Toiletries, beauty, so your hair, your nails, whatever it is. If you smoke, track your cigarettes. KB tracks how much he spends on cigarettes. He smokes. All chefs smokes, I think. If you drink, that is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. Obviously, you have to be mindful how much you drink and don't drive and things like that. But if you do have a drink here there, buy your wine or your gin or whatever it is, track it. I bought a bottle of gin and it lasted you this long, and then you bought another one. I don't know. Or I went out for drinks with my friend and this is how much I spent. whatever it is, write alcohol, write it down how much you spend. And then if you saved money, if you put money away, category saving, write it down. Whether it is Stockfell, whether it is food stamps, whether it is cash stuffing like me, like I save a lot in cash because my savings are short-term goals. So I don't talk about investing in this channel. Maybe one day I will, but I talk about saving to help me not use my credit card for Christmas and birthdays and things like that. So, but track it. Know how much you put on spending, on saving. Sorry. Know how much you spend on household, on family, on birthdays. Maybe put events. Create a category called events or birthdays and write down how much you spend there. Clothing, whatever it is, petrol, etc. You know your bills. Create category and write down how much you spent for the whole month. Okay. Now add it up. Once you've added up, you will then create a percentage of that amount, and the percentage will come from the income, whether it's your income alone or your income with your husband or your income with your flatmate or whatever it is, whatever the income that you use for the monthly spending. I know so many hands, sorry, but the income that you use for the monthly spending, you then create a percentage, because now this percentage will tell you exactly what is your priority. You might not know what your priority is. You might think you know what your priority is. You might think my priority is to pay off debt, because you're going to have a category called debt where you're going to track your debt, how much you put in debt, how much extra you put in debt. But your numbers, your budget will tell you, no, your priority is eating out. Or no, your priority is buying clothes. Or no, your priority is alcohol. Or no, your priority is saving. Your budget will tell you what is important to you in your life, because that's what you spend your money in. Okay, so do that. I will do another video basically on this at the beginning of the year, but this is just to help you prepare for that, because at the beginning of the year we usually do a 4 weeks module using the Budget for Freedom planner, which we will be launching a new one, but we're also going to be having the current one that we have on special for the Black Friday sale. So track your spending, so that's when you create your budget for the following month, you're now using your realistic numbers. So if you spent 2,000 Rand on eating out, guess how much your budget is going to be next month for eating out? 2,000 Rand. Because that's being accurate and realistic to what you're actually spending, not what you think you're spending, because you tracked it. I understand maybe you want to change that. Don't drastically go, I'm just going to spend 500 Rand on eating out. Just go 1.7. My budget for eating out is going to be 1,700 Rand. It's still very high, but you're setting yourself up for success. Because if you just go drastic changes, you will then get disappointed at the end of the month when you calculate again and realize, oh my gosh, I went over budget. And you don't want to feel like this budget is not working for me. I'm not doing this anymore, because you set yourself up for failure. So you have to be realistic and accurate with your budgeting. Okay, point number 2, setting short-term and long-term goals. So short-term goals, I say, are between 3 to 6 months. So anything you want to achieve in the next 3 months or 6 months is your short-term goals. Long-term goals in Norma's Diary world is anything between 7 to 12 months. So anything you want to achieve in the next 7 months or 12 months. Now, there are, longer term goals, like in 5 years, whatever. I'm not looking at that right now. That is not what I want to get into. A lot of things happen. A lot of changes happen. Even your short-term goals, things could change like this. So I never look at 3 years from now or 5 years from now. Yes, I do have aspirations of I would like to purchase a house in this place in 5 years. When I was in university, I thought to myself, when I complete my degree, I want to work in Pretoria or Cape Town. That was my thinking when I was in university. Like, that's where I want to work. And on my final year, in October, I got approached by a company from overseas. Okay, November I did my interview. December I got the job offer. January I had the visa. Beginning of February I started at the new job overseas. That's what I mean when I say things really do change. So I don't want you to set massive long-term goals and then set yourself up for success and feel like I didn't achieve this, so I'm not even going to bother. So let's set short-term goals and create little habits with those short-term goals. So let's say, for example, 3 to 6 months. In 3 months, I want to pay 2,000 Rand to my loan. So whatever loan you have. In 3 months, I want to pay 2,000 Rand to my loan, which means every single month for the next 3 months, I have to put in 700 Rand. So 700 Rand the first month, 700 Rand the second month, and then it will be 600 Rand the third month. That's 2,000 Rand. That goal is achievable. It has a timestamp on it. It has a plan. So every month out of my budget, out of the remaining amount when I do my budgeting, I have 1,800 Rand remaining. 700 Rand of that is going straight to my loan. Do you see what I mean? So you need to start setting short-term goals that are achievable and that are reachable. And when I say achievable and reachable, I mean in 3 months is not long from now, but also doing something that will help you reach something in 3 months looks more, I'm gonna get there so close because I'm gonna get there so soon. Because if you think about it, after this month you have 2 months to go, and then another 2 months, and then another month, and then oh my gosh, I've paid the 2,000. Now if you consistently do that for 12 months, can you imagine how much you would pay into your loan? But you started off as just a short-term goal, but then after seeing the progress, it gets addictive. So for example, with me, my short-term goal is to go to the gym. If I can't go to the gym because I am a busy bee and I'm a workaholic and I'm stretched so thin. So if I can't go to the gym because I have to come back home and pack orders, then I have to wake up an hour early. So I wake up at 5 o'clock, but I would have to wake up at 4, which is fine. I usually wake up at 4 to turn on the geyser because I turn off the geyser to save that money on electricity. So I will wake up at 4, have my Vitatheon, so the vitamin that you take for energy, and then put my yoga mat, turn on a YouTube video and do a workout. So I want to do that. It's going to help me achieve my bigger goal of being healthy and losing some weight, basically some fat. But also it's going to help me be fit, which is what I used to be. I used to be so fit, guys, by the way. So that is my short-term goal, to start gymming or working out every morning for the next 3 months. Okay. Now my long-term goal, so my 12-month goal is for me to lose 8 kgs. I'm making an example. To lose 8 kgs. But if I focus on the 8 kgs, my goal looks unachievable and stressful and too big and hectic, and just it will make me like drastically want to make these drastic things of just drinking smoothies every day or just eating eggs and no carbs or whatever it is. But if I just say my goal is to work out every single morning for 30 minutes before I take a shower, and I do that every single day, in 12 months, I could achieve the big goal of losing the 8 kgs. So start setting short-term goals and long-term goals, and then start making them more achievable and reachable. Okay, so we're going to do this together. again with the BFF when we do our goal setting as well. Number 3 is to follow people who inspire you. The reason why I put this here, I did do a video reel on Instagram where I covered a book. So it's basically the book of Mark on the Bible. It talks about Mark 2. I don't have my Bible with me, it's somewhere there. It basically talks about how this guy was in so much pain and he couldn't even walk, and his friends had faith in Jesus that they carried him with the mats to take him to Jesus, and they couldn't approach Jesus because obviously Jesus was very popular. Everyone knew he's a healer, he's the one who will heal you. He's the greatest doctor, the greatest security, the greatest provider of it all. So they knew that. So whenever Jesus was around, he would be like surrounded by people and crowded by people, to the point where if you want to talk to him or you need his help, you would never be able to get to him. So his friends opened like a hole on top of the shelter he was in and dropped his friend down, and Jesus healed him because of the faith his friends had. Basically, why I'm mentioning that is because that guy was not going to be able to get to Jesus by himself. He got to Jesus because he was around the right people. People who wanted to see him heal. People who wanted to see him get better. People who wanted to see him grow. People who actually have faith in him that he's still going to get better, that this is not the end of your destination. And those are the type of people you need around you. Maybe you're not someone who has a lot of friends, which is fine, or a big family, or if you feel like my family is the most toxic of them all and I just work too much, so I'm struggling to make friends. But you follow people on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok, and you follow people who are toxic and who like talking about other people's problems and shading other people and things like that. What are you expecting? What are you wanting to learn from them? What are you wanting to grow from them? And the reason why I said follow people who inspire you is because I'm mainly talking about social media. We are influenced so much indirectly by social media, by the people we follow. So do a social media detox. Go to your followers. You know how to do that. Have a look at what you're following that you actually don't need to see. So I have 2 Instagrams. I have my personal one, and then I have my business one. Not really business, but this community, the Norma's Diary one. I really love my shop Instagram. The personal one is just people who I grew up with and they like just seeing what I'm doing and whatever. But my shop one is my business Instagram. And let me explain, what do I mean. My personal one, I started Norma's Diary and I didn't have the shop Instagram. And when I started Norma's Diary, I just had the personal one and I would share this information and I would say, guys, please watch on YouTube, talking about saving money. I'm talking about debts. I'm talking about cash stuffing. I'm talking about how this has changed my life. I'm talking about trying to eat healthy, how to get out of postpartum anxiety and depression and all of that, because we all go through it as women. But basically that's what I was talking about. And I promise you, not a single person would follow me, would support me, would watch, would like. Maybe my family and my 2 close friends, but basically I realized these people are not my people. They just like my stalkers. Sorry, not in a horrible way. But they're just people who are just following me because we have Instagram and we follow each other. But they're not my people. They not wanting to add onto my growth. So I created a new Instagram. Oh, and also on my personal Instagram, I was following the Kim Kardashians, the lavish, the people who are living lavishly, and I would watch them and I'd feel like, oh my God, like, I don't know if I would ever get to a point where my life is like that, because it looked too far to reach that kind of life. So instead of me being inspired, I actually just got discouraged. Obviously, my mindset has changed now. Now I get so inspired that, if God can do it for them, He can do it for me as well. But back then, I would just get discouraged, like, it will never happen that I'll, live that kind of life or travel or whatever. I started a whole new Instagram, a whole new page, and I literally followed business owners. So the quotes I see are about being a female entrepreneur, or being a woman, or, God. I follow a lot of Christian content. The small businesses, that their packaging, their ideas, how to blow up on Reels, and how to grow on YouTube, and how to start drop shipping, or whatever it is, so I follow all of that helps me grow as a person, but also it is aligned to where I am trying to reach. So I would like to grow my brand. I would like to full-time work as an entrepreneur on Norma's Diary. There's other things that I want to venture in, Cozy. I just introduced Cozy. I would like Cozy to grow, like as a podcast, or other things that, are in the future. But I need to be inspired, because motivation comes and goes. Motivation is sometimes in a bad mood and doesn't want to help you. So I need to be around people who inspire me. And if I'm not around people physically inspire me, when I open my phone, I am instantly inspired to record a video. I'm instantly inspired to pull out the yoga mat and do Pilates or yoga at home. I'm instantly inspired to clean my house. I'm instantly inspired to be a great wife, to be a great employee, to dress modesty, I don't know how they call it, to dress like a holy woman, like someone who honors their body. I'm instantly inspired because of what I follow, and I highly recommend that. If you cannot make friends, or your family is toxic, social media is your best friend, where it's like your getaway. Make sure you follow people who inspire you to grow. And the last one is to research other ways to bring in another stream of income. I'm going to say that again for the people at the back over there. Research another way to bring in a second or third or fourth stream of income. Because as we know, one income is not enough. And if your one income is enough, then whoa, you are so blessed and you are lucky. But like a big percentage of people that I know that are struggling to make it because they have one income. So there's many other ways to make another income, of course, but it is not easy. I personally grew my skills, so I am great at video editing. I know Premiere Pro, so I know the Adobe Suite, Illustrator, Adobe InDesign, Adobe Photoshop, Lightroom, and Premiere Pro. I use Premiere Pro to edit these videos. So that skill has helped me, bring in more streams of income by designing my own journals to create my own business, by recording videos and editing videos for other people, by being a photographer at my workplace. Whenever they need a photographer, they hire me, they pay me. So like these skills I have grown, and if anytime things had to, get messed up and I lose my job or whatever, I can use these skills to bring in income. I've always wanted to be a maternity photographer where I take pictures of pregnant women and a newborn baby. like baby newborn shoots. I've always wanted to do things like that. So maybe I could venture off to things like that. You know, I could grow my YouTube channel because I'm great at editing. I just don't have time. So I could create more vlogs on cleaning, on behind the scenes with business, on how to help, you know, women and empower women. And, you know, it's things like that that will bring me an income. I created my own Shopify website, so it's something maybe I could start getting into, where someone asked me, can you please create my website or my Shopify shop in order for everything to seamlessly work when someone is checking out or purchasing, whatever. So it's those little skills that I have grew that have helped me bring in more income, but also learning a business. But yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed this video. I really hope you're enjoying Cozy so far. So that is it. I really enjoyed talking about these important things that will help us become the best version of ourselves. There's obviously many more other things, and we're still going to touch on them. But for now, the goal is to work on these 4 to help your 2024 thrive. Like, if you've already mastered your expenses by the end of this year, you're going to start the new year strong with your finances. If you've already set your short-term goals and long-term goals, you are not going to allow any distractions to come in between you achieving those short-term and long-term goals, because your short-term goals have to be achieved by March. So when January starts, you're looking forward to March. If it means saving 2,000 Rand, if it means paying off the TFG account, you know, if it means starting that car wash business, or whatever it is, you know, by March you have to make sure your ducks are in a row, basically. And nothing is going to want to come in between you and achieving that goal, because you know that achieving that goal, in 12 months, your life will change completely. I promise you. You know, also surrounding yourself with people who support you, who want to help you grow. You know, that will be so motivating, so positive, so empowering. And lastly, making another stream of income that will give you freedom to not live paycheck to paycheck. You know, to be able to know that other things will be covered, or even this second income that's coming in is just paying off debt. Now the pressure is off your income from your full-time job. For me, it's YouTube. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for subscribing, because this money goes straight to my loan and my credit cards and stuff. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Comment down below if you did enjoy it. If you would like me to talk about other things, let me know. But I definitely have like 10 topics that I will be talking about. So this is episode 1. So how to end 2020. So actually, I need my book. Where's my book?